This one's blown my mind. Let's get into it. Be me, Stephanie, 29, living what I thought was the dream. Marketing project manager at a mid-tier agency downtown. Decent salary, the kind of job where you can tell people at parties you work in marketing, and they nod like it means something. I had the LinkedIn profile to match, professional headshot, Monday motivation posts, the occasional grateful for my team, humility brag. I thought I had it figured out. I didn't. 3 days before the biggest presentation of my career, everything fell apart. 6 months of work, rebranding campaign for a mid-sized retail chain, $400,000 contract, my ticket to senior PM, gone. One of my junior teammates, Brandon, fucked up the file permissions on our shared drive. The entire campaign leaked early. Competitors saw our strategy. The client lost their shit. I found out in a conference room with my boss, Stephanie. Yes, same name. Confusing? I know. And someone from HR whose name I didn't catch because my ears were ringing. Stephanie, we need you to take administrative leave while we conduct an internal review, my boss said, her voice flat and corporate. 4 to 6 weeks. Full benefits, but you're not to contact clients or come to the office. We'll be in touch. Administrative leave. That's corporate speak for we're deciding if we're firing you. I sat there, numb, while HR walked me through the process. They had security escort me to my desk. I packed my shit into a cardboard box while my co-workers avoided eye contact. I'd posted an Instagram story that morning. Coffee cup, laptop, crushing goals. And now I was being walked out like I'd embezzled funds. The worst part? I checked my phone in the Uber home. Brandon had already updated his LinkedIn, grateful for the learning opportunity, excited for what's next. Like he hadn't just nuked my career. I spent 2 days on the couch in the same hoodie, doom scrolling, drafting angry emails to my boss that I never sent. Jake, my husband, 31, software engineer, the kind of guy who's steady and calm and easy to take for granted, came home both nights to find me exactly where he'd left me that morning. He didn't say anything, just made dinner, chicken stir-fry the first night, pasta the second, did the laundry, prepped his lunches for the week. I watched him move around our apartment like a ghost, and something about it made me feel worse. Guilty, maybe. Or just annoyed that he was handling everything while I fell apart. Sunday came. Jake's parents did dinner every other week, and Jake insisted we still go. I'm not going, I said, pulling the blanket tighter around myself. Steph, you've been on the couch for 2 days. You need to leave the apartment. I got suspended from my job. I'm allowed to be upset. I know, but my mom's expecting us, and she made lasagna. I went, not because I wanted to, but because arguing felt like too much effort. Linda, Jake's mom, 58, the kind of woman who's been married 35 years and has strong opinions about everything, opened the door with a hug that lingered too long. I could tell Jake had told her what happened. Stephanie, sweetheart, come in. You look exhausted. I was wearing leggings and a hoodie. My hair was in a bun I hadn't brushed out in 2 days. I looked like shit, and we both knew it. Dinner was awkward. Linda had made lasagna, garlic bread, salad, the works. I barely touched it. Jake's dad, Tom, quiet as always, tried to make small talk about the weather. I gave one-word answers and kept checking my phone, even though I'd turned off work notifications. Linda noticed. Everything okay, Stephanie? Fine, I said, not looking up. She got suspended from work, Jake said quietly. I glared at him. Thanks for that. Suspended. Linda set down her fork. What happened? I gave her the corporate version. Just navigating some organizational restructuring, internal review process, standard stuff. Linda's eyebrows went up. That doesn't sound standard. It wasn't her fault, Jake added. Her co-worker screwed up and she's taking the fall. It was my project, I snapped. My responsibility. So, yeah, It kind of is my fault. Silence. Tom cleared his throat, tried to pivot to something about a baseball game. Linda wasn't having it. Well, she said, folding her napkin, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. I laughed, sharp and bitter. How is losing my career a blessing? You're not losing anything. You're on paid leave. You have a month of free time. I'm supposed to be working on my career, Linda, not sitting at home doing nothing. Your career? Linda stood, started clearing plates. I hadn't offered to help. I never did. Honey, you've been working there for 4 years, and you're still middle management. Meanwhile, my son cooks your meals, cleans your apartment, and manages your household, like he's a bachelor. When's the last time you did something for him? My face went hot. We're equal partners. Jake doesn't expect me to... I never said I expected anything, Jake said, his voice so quiet I almost missed it. But it would be nice sometimes. I stared at him. He wouldn't look at me. Linda kept going. You know what I think? I think you've spent years telling everyone how modern women don't need to be housewives, how degrading it is to take care of a man. But you've never actually tried. You don't even know if you'd be good at it. Because I don't need to be good at it, I shot back. It's not 1950. Women have careers now. And how's that working out for you? I wanted to throw something. Instead, I just sat there shaking. Linda dried her hands on a towel. Here's what I think. You're home anyway. You have 4 weeks, maybe more. So here's my challenge. Actually take care of Jake. Cook, clean, plan his life, be a wife. If after 30 days you still think your cubicle is better than your marriage, fine. But at least you'll know. This is insane, I said. I'm not some... Then prove it. Show me modern women can actually do both. Or admit you just don't want to try. Jake was looking at me now, something raw in his expression. I felt trapped. Fine, I said. 1 month. But when I go back to work and get promoted, don't act surprised. Linda smiled. We'll see, dear. The car ride home was silent. I tried to start a fight. I can't believe you let your mum talk to me like that. But Jake just said, She's not wrong, Steph. I stared out the window, throat tight. My phone buzzed. Ashley, the 25-year-old on my team who was always a little too eager, had posted on our company, Slack, excited to step up on some new projects. I turned my phone off. This is temporary, I told myself. I'll prove them all wrong. My career isn't over. This is just a setback. But Jake's voice kept replaying in my head. It would be nice sometimes. I'd forgotten that was even an option. I spent the first 2 days doing absolutely nothing. Jake left for work at 8 a.m., came home at 6 p.m., and I was still on the couch in the same spot. I told myself I was processing or decompressing, but really I was just scrolling. LinkedIn, Instagram, doom scrolling through my company's Slack channels I'd been removed from. Ashley had already taken over 2 of my projects. Brandon posted a lessons learned thread that got 47 likes. My boss hadn't texted me once. Jake didn't say anything. He just came home, made dinner, did the dishes, folded laundry. I watched him move through our apartment like I wasn't even there, and something about it made my chest feel tight. On the 3rd day, I woke up to Jake already gone. There was a note on the counter, "Coffee's in the pot. Love you." I stared at it for a long time. Then I opened my laptop. I googled how to be a good wife, expecting tradwife cringe and 1950s propaganda. Instead, I found Reddit threads, women my age, talking about how their relationships improved when they started doing more domestic stuff. YouTube channels with women who seemed happy, not brainwashed. Testimonials about men being more affectionate, more engaged. I told myself it was all bullshit, but I kept reading. One Reddit post stuck with me. I didn't lose myself by taking care of him. I found out who I actually wanted to be. I closed the laptop, opened it again an hour later. Read more. Fine, I thought. I'll try the bare minimum, just to win Linda's stupid bet. The next morning, I woke up at 7 a.m., which felt like violence after weeks of sleeping till noon. I made Jake eggs and coffee. The toast was slightly burnt and the eggs were overcooked, but I plated it and left it on the table with a note. Day 1 of proving your mom wrong. When Jake came out of the bedroom, he stopped, just stood there, staring at the plate. You made me breakfast? It's just eggs, I said, defensive. Don't be dramatic. His voice cracked. Steph, you haven't made me breakfast in 3 years. He kissed my forehead before he left. I stood in the kitchen, confused by the heat in my chest. That afternoon, I was bored and restless. I kept checking my work email. Nothing important, just automated newsletters and meeting invites I'd been removed from. Ashley had sent a Slack DM. Hope you're doing okay. Miss you. I didn't respond. Instead, I Googled healthy lunch ideas and spent an hour meal prepping Jake's lunches for the week. Turkey wraps, portion snacks, even a dumb sticky note in one of the containers. Have a good day. S. Then I rage cleaned the apartment, scrubbed the bathroom, organized our closet, did 3 loads of laundry Jake usually handled. My brain finally shut up for the first time in weeks. When Jake came home. That night, he stopped in the doorway. What is happening right now? The apartment smelled like lemon cleaner. I was showered, dressed in actual clothes, cooking pasta from a box. I'm winning a bet, I said. Don't read into it. But over dinner, Jake was different. Lighter, he told me about his day, laughed at something I said, did the dishes without me asking. We ended up on the couch together, and he pulled me close in a way he hadn't in months. We had sex that night. It wasn't earth-shattering, but it was connected. Present. I'd forgotten what that felt like. Afterward, I lay awake while Jake slept, staring at the ceiling. This doesn't mean anything, I told myself. He's just reacting because it's novel. This isn't sustainable. I'm only doing this to prove a point. But my chest felt lighter than it had in months. I didn't know what to do with that. By week 2, I was fully committed, not to prove Linda right, but because I was weirdly invested now. I started planning actual meals, Googling recipes, making grocery lists, cooking real dinners instead of door-dashing everything. Slow cooker, pot roast, stir-fry with actual vegetables, baked salmon that didn't come from a bag. I even remembered Jake loved garlic bread, which I hadn't made in years. I organized his life too, set up the dentist appointment he'd been avoiding, ordered his contact lens refills, ironed his work shirts because half of them were wrinkled and I'd never noticed. Jake was visibly happier. He texted me during the day, "Thanks for lunch, babe," with a photo of the wrap I'd packed. He came home smiling, actually excited to see me. We had sex 3 times that week. He kissed me randomly, touched my waist when he passed me in the kitchen. One night, pulling me close on the couch, he said, "I feel like I have my wife back." I didn't know how to respond to that. Week 3, I was organizing our paperwork, bills, tax documents, stuff Jake usually handled, when I found our bank statements. I wasn't snooping, I was just curious. Then I saw the numbers. Jake's salary, $125,000 a year. After taxes and his 401k, about $7,800 a month take home. My salary, $68,000. After taxes, $4,100 a month. I kept scrolling. Rent, $2,400 paid from Jake's account. Utilities, insurance, groceries, another $800, also Jake. Then I found my credit card statements. Work wardrobe and dry cleaning, $400 a month. Lunches and coffee because I didn't have time to pack, $300. Ubers because the subway was too stressful, $250. Therapy copays, $200. Hair and nails because I needed to look professional, $180. Random Amazon stress purchases, $300. I did the math. My $4,100 income minus $1,630 in work-related expenses. I was contributing $2,470 a month. To a household Jake was basically funding. I stared at the screen, nauseous. All those posts about being independent, about not needing a man's money, about girl boss this and hustle culture that. I'd been lying to myself for years. That night, I brought it up while Jake folded laundry. Did you know I basically don't contribute financially? He looked up, confused. What are you talking about? I looked at our accounts. After my work costs, I'm barely contributing anything. You've been carrying us. Steph, we're married, it's our money. But I've been acting like I'm this independent career woman, and I'm not. My voice cracked. I'm just expensive. Jake sat next to me. I never asked you to work. When we got engaged, I told you I make enough for both of us. You're the one who insisted. Because I didn't want to be some dependent housewife. And how's that working out? I went quiet. Jake's voice softened. You're miserable, Steph. We barely see each other. You resent me half the time. I don't. Last month I asked if you wanted to go to dinner, and you said I was interrupting your workflow. I remembered. He'd looked hurt. I'd brushed it off. I love you, Jake said. I don't care if you work or don't work. I just want you happy. And you haven't been happy in years. Later that night, I checked my email. 47 unread. My boss had sent an update. Team has redistributed your projects. We'll discuss your role when you return. Translation, you're getting demoted. Ashley sent a message. Hope you're taking care of yourself. We miss you. Translation, I'm doing your job now. I closed my laptop and sat on the bathroom floor, crying as quietly as I could so Jake wouldn't hear. I've been lying to myself for years. I'm not independent. I'm not a girl boss. I'm just tired. When I finally came to bed, Jake pulled me close. I buried my face in his chest. I didn't tell him why I was crying. By week 3, I wasn't pretending anymore. I was meal planning for real, actually looking up what Jake liked, making his favorite pot. Roast, baking chicken with roasted vegetables. I packed his gym bag in the mornings, restocked his bathroom stuff when it ran low, even planned a Saturday hike because he'd mentioned wanting to go months ago and I'd blown him off. I wasn't doing it to win a bet. I was doing it because I wanted to. And that terrified me. Jake was a completely different person, smiling when he came home, texting me random I love yous during the day, bringing me flowers for no reason. We were having sex regularly, not just going through the motions, but actually connected. He'd come home and pull me into a hug, tell me about his day, ask about mine. One night, while I was cooking, he wrapped his arms around me from behind and said, I forgot what it felt like to be taken care of. I stopped stirring. I'm sorry, I forgot how. He kissed the side of my head, but inside, I was unraveling. The idea of going back to work made me nauseous. My boss had emailed to schedule a call to discuss organizational changes, which meant I was either getting demoted or let go. Ashley had posted on LinkedIn, thrilled to announce I'm stepping into a new role as senior PM. She'd taken my job, and I felt relieved. I started Googling things at 2 a.m. Can feminists be homemakers? Regretting career choice? Is it okay to want to be a housewife? I felt like a traitor to myself. My friend Nicole had texted me. You've been quiet. Everything okay? I didn't respond. What was I supposed to say? Yeah, I've been playing housewife for 3 weeks, and I'm happier than I've been in years? One afternoon, I was folding Jake's laundry when I just started crying. Not sad crying, not angry crying, just crying. Jake came home early and found me on the bedroom floor, surrounded by clean clothes. Steph, what's wrong? I couldn't answer for a minute. When I finally could, it all came out. I don't know who I am anymore. I've spent 10 years building this identity. Career woman, independent, feminist, boss babe. And it was all bullshit. I was miserable and I didn't even know it. And now I'm here, folding your fucking laundry, and I'm happier than I've been in years. My voice broke. What does that make me? Jake sat next to me, pulled me close. Happy? It makes you happy. But what will people think? My friends, everyone who believed in me. Who cares what they think? This is your life, not theirs. I'm scared. Of what? That I wasted all that time. That I was wrong about everything. Jake kissed my forehead. You weren't wrong. You just didn't know what you needed yet. I cried into his shoulder. It felt like mourning someone who died. Except the person who died was a version of myself I'd built to impress strangers. That night, Jake told me something he'd been holding back. I almost left you last year. I pulled back, staring at him. What? You were so checked out. We hadn't had sex in 2 months. You snapped at me every time I tried to talk to you. I thought maybe you didn't love me anymore. Jake? I'm not telling you this to hurt you. I'm telling you because I need you to understand. This month, I got my wife back. I don't care if you work or don't work. I just need you to be here, with me, not disappearing into your phone or your laptop or your career. I nodded, unable to speak. I love you, he said, but I can't do another year like the last one. I know, I whispered. I'm sorry. He held me until I stopped shaking. Linda invited us over for the 1-month check-in. I spent an hour getting ready, which was stupid because it was just Sunday dinner. But I wanted to look pulled together, like I had my shit figured out. I didn't. Jake held my hand in the car. I was quiet the whole drive. Linda had made pot roast. I'd been using her recipe all month. Tom was his usual quiet self. Jake seemed relaxed, happy. I picked at my food. So, Linda said, setting down her fork, how did the month go? I forced a smile. Fine. I did what you asked. And what? Did you learn anything? I paused. Jake squeezed my hand under the table. I learned that it's not as easy as I thought. The domestic stuff, it takes actual effort. Linda raised an eyebrow. And? I exhaled. And I didn't hate it, okay? I didn't hate it. Did Jake? I looked at him. He was watching me with soft eyes. I've been happier this month than I've been in years, Jake said quietly. Tom spoke up, rare for him. Shows, son. You look lighter. Linda leaned back. So what now? You go back to your cubicle and pretend this month didn't happen? I don't know. My boss wants to discuss my role, which probably means I'm getting demoted or fired. And I don't even care. My voice cracked. That's the fucked up part. I thought losing my career would destroy me, but I just feel relieved. Linda's voice softened. Maybe because it wasn't your career. It was your excuse. Excuse for what? For not having to be vulnerable. Work is safe. You control it. You measure it. Marriage is scary. You have to actually show up. My eyes burned. I looked away. I'm not saying you have to be me, Stephanie. I'm not saying quit forever or become a full-time housewife. I'm just saying you've been running from something, and this month you stopped running, and you were happier. I nodded, unable to speak. In the car, Jake finally said what he'd been holding back. I never asked you to be a career woman. I know. When we got married, I told you I'd take care of us. You're the one who needed to prove something. Because I didn't want to be dependent. On me? Your husband? His voice was calm, but firm. Steph, we're supposed to depend on each other. That's what marriage is. I started crying. I was so mean to you. Yeah, you were. I'm sorry. I know. We sat in silence for a moment. What if I don't go back? I said quietly. To work? Yeah. Then don't. But what will I do? Whatever makes you happy. We'll figure it out. 2 weeks later, I officially resigned. My boss seemed relieved, made the restructuring easier. I haven't told most of my friends yet. I'm not ready for the questions. Tonight, I'm cooking dinner. lemon chicken, roasted potatoes, salad. I've gotten good at this. Jake comes home and wraps his arms around me while I stir the pan. Smells amazing. Thanks. You okay? I think about it. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. That's okay. I feel like I should have some big epiphany, like I should be able to say I was wrong about feminism or career women are stupid or whatever. But I don't feel that. I just feel tired of performing. Then stop. It's not that simple. Why not? I don't have an answer. We eat dinner. I tell him about a recipe I want to try tomorrow. He tells me about a project at work. It's mundane and simple, and I'm not miserable. Later, he asks, "Did you tell your friends yet?" "Not yet," I say. "I'm not ready for their judgment." He nods. Doesn't push. I don't know what this makes me. I don't know if I'm betraying myself or finding myself. I don't know if this is forever or just for now. But for the first time in years, I'm not pretending. I'm just here. And maybe that's enough. For now. Alright, this one took me on a journey, like genuinely wasn't expecting where it ended up. Ashley, what's your take?
Dude, I'm conflicted. Like at first, I was rolling my eyes at Linda being all, be a housewife for a month, but then Stephanie was actually happier, and I don't know how to feel about that.
See, that's what makes this one interesting. It's not really about housewife versus career woman. It's about someone who built an entire identity to impress other people and then realized she hated it.
Okay, but the way Linda came at her, though, when's the last time you did something for Jake? Like, damn, that's brutal at a family dinner.
Brutal, but not wrong. Think about what we saw. Jake's cooking every meal, doing laundry, cleaning, managing the household while Stephanie's on the couch in the same hoodie for 3 days. And she's calling herself an equal partner.
Fair. But like, the whole prove modern women can do both challenge feels kinda, I don't know, manipulative.
Nah, but here's the thing. Linda didn't make her quit her job. She just said, try actually taking care of your husband for a month. That's not asking her to be a 1950s housewife. That's asking her to be a functional adult in a marriage.
Oh, damn. Yeah, when you put it that way.
Right? And look what happened. Stephanie starts cooking, cleaning, actually being present, and suddenly they're having sex again. Jake's happier, she's less miserable. Not because domestic work is magic, but because she was finally showing up for the relationship.
The bank statement part got me, though. Like, she thought she was this independent career woman and then realizes she's barely contributing after all her work expenses. That's gotta hurt.
That's the reality check. She was spending $1,600 a month just to have a career that made her miserable. Hair, nails, Ubers, therapy to deal with work stress. Meanwhile, Jake's covering rent, utilities, everything else. She wasn't independent, she was expensive.
Okay, that's kinda harsh, but yeah. I mean, I spend like $200 a month on work stuff, and I always thought that was normal. But if you actually add it all up,
Exactly. And nobody talks about that. Everyone's like, girl boss, get your bag, but nobody mentions the bag costs money to carry.
but do you think she actually changed, or is this just honeymoon phase energy? Like, what happens in 6 months when folding laundry isn't novel anymore?
That's the real question. I think the difference is she stopped performing. She wasn't doing it for LinkedIn likes or to prove something to her friends. She was doing it because she wanted Jake to be happy and that made her happy. That's sustainable.
I guess. It's just weird that her whole identity was wrapped up in career stuff and it all just collapsed in a month.
Because it was never real. She said it herself. She was miserable for years, but kept going because she needed to prove she wasn't dependent. That's not living. That's just refusing to lose an argument with yourself.
God, that's depressing. So what, she just quits and becomes a housewife and that's the happy ending?
She doesn't become anything. She just stops pretending to be something she's not. Maybe she goes back to work later. Maybe she doesn't. But at least now, she's making choices based on what she actually wants, not what she thinks she's supposed to want.
Okay, yeah. I'm sold. This one's weirdly deep.
Right? It's not about housewife versus career. It's about people building identities they hate just to avoid admitting they were wrong. And if you made it this far, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe. See you in the next one.